why would we invest finances or monies or recommend to towns and communities, cities, states, other agencies to provide infrastructure similar to what I'm sitting in front of right now? Why would we want to go ahead and replace wires with wireless? Why would we want to even put wires in a building? It all comes down to communication, education, and its influence on engagement. As a digital citizen is growing up, the digital native is what many people are calling the students of this generation. The digital native understands, uses, and expects technology to be readily accessible. They learn the term Google, they don't learn the term encyclopedia. And so imagine yourself not having the series of encyclopedias brought to your door, but a computer and internet brought to your door, which ultimately is a gateway to all information real time. So when we go home and we do work, we are in the position of having all this information readily available. But when we come to school, this information is tethered. It's locked up in a closet, it's told to be in drawers, turned off, which is intriguing because we expect the student to be learning, helping him or herself one way when they're not in school, and in a different way when they are in school. It's very confusing, so why would we not invest in the same environment that we have at home, where our students and our peers are sitting in for 1/3 of their waking day, pardon me. But the point being is, it's an expense that ultimately we have to digest. The curriculum books, the materials that get printed are out of date before they actually hit the shelves or the classroom desk. So I don't know if it's hard to ask someone to fathom procuring materials that are going to be readily accessible, always up to date. I don't find that to be a challenge. I find the challenge to be learning or growing, evolving. The student already has. Why hasn't the adult? Why hasn't the provider?
And actually, you got to a point where I was going to ask a question along those lines. So this push to get more devices so that way students can access the web for questions like, I've heard the term Google is my best friend. It's true for most levels, and you said the students are adapting, so why aren't the adults? Which leads to my question, is this push for the bring your own device to aid the teacher in the way they are teaching, or to change the way the teacher's teaching completely and redesign the teacher also?
Ultimately, curriculum comes in many fashions, right? It comes in oral, like we're doing right now. We're talking, we're in a conversation, and we're engaged, we hope. Ultimately, by asking the question, are we actually elevating teaching styles? Are we challenging teaching styles? Are computers, electronic devices, are they complementing all of the above? I can't answer that. All I can answer is how I would feel. If I was presented a textbook versus a computer, I would gravitate to the computer because I could Google it. I could be sitting there one day presented with a problem, and because I have the ability to listen at the same exact time, type, I could possibly be hearing something, not raising my hand and asking a question, not distracting the teacher while I'm finding the answer. Unlike the student who's doing this constantly, I myself did that when I was younger because we didn't have the devices in front of us. And it was done on purpose, of course. But to fully answer or understand your question, I would have to say the textbook, the computer, the internet device is nothing but a complement. It's not replacing, it's just complementing either the student or the curriculum for that matter. We think of many world events that have happened. What do? We watched the world events. We went online to see way back when Princess Diana and Charles get married. We saw the spaceship go up in the 80s. You know, those are major monumental events. They've become secondary now because of all the information that's at our hands, right? The Berlin Wall going down. Again, I'm only speaking of things that happened in my generation. Think of, you know, the Olympics. Think of all these major world events that do occur. You know, the towers, 9/11. These are things that we watched. And so ultimately, that engaged me. It engaged everybody. It was information available immediately. So why would I be willing to pass that up as a teacher when I can provide that real time to someone, no matter where he or she is at? Not just in my classroom, but at home.